Hey, how you guys doing out there? My name is Phil Bailey and welcome to my channel again. This is actually going to be the first video of a series of mind, body, spirit, wellness, feng shui, college students, entrepreneurial tech thingies, and gadgets. So welcome. And today in this first little episode, this little segment, I'm going to try to do a few different segments. I'm going to keep them pretty short. I'm going to do a short version where I'm just kind of talking to you as more conversational to help you understand some of these techniques. And then the other video, I'm going to link in annotations above this video. And we're going to have the screenshot of whatever it is I'm explaining, so that way if you want to see me talk about it, you can see me fully. Or if you want to actually just see the tutorial, you can just click on the tutorial part. So I was talking with one of my friends in our AAU community, which is a community for Academy of Art students. As I've mentioned before, I'm a first-year architect major. I have a lot of entrepreneurial goals, which includes, creating my foundation AMA, making the AAU community better, creating clubs out on campus. Oh man, I've designed smartphones that I intend to build. I actually have a lot of the chips. I have LED technology for interiors and video. Unfortunately, I'm not using any of the LED lights right now in this video, but as my set evolves and as I kind of evolve my channel and my video series, then you'll see all those things come into play. So basically what I'm trying to say here is that, I have a lot of business goals, and one of those goals as being a creative director and as a freelancer is to keep my clients ahead of the curve of technology. I had a little burp bubble there. I'm sipping on some really good cucumber and lemon water. It's excellent detox, and I love it. So anyway, so basically what I'm saying here is, let's talk tech for a second. Let's talk about my good friend, and her questions were regarding um, online school. She's doing a distance program, and she wants to know what are the minimal things that the school requires. What can you kind of get away with right off the bat, out of the gate, whatever you want to call it, and what are those kind of costs? What kind of things are really important? It will depend on what class you're taking, but I'm going to give you a few tips um, of the things that I do to keep my material costs down. And we're going to talk about cloud computing. We're going to talk about Dropbox, Evernote, Google Drive, and thumb drives. That's going to be the primary focus of this video, so let's go ahead and dive right in and talk about thumb drives. Here I have a Exporter 32 gigabyte thumb drive, and it's from Patriot Memory. Now, flash drives, thumb drives, pin drives, they have many different names. They all work very much the same way. There's also things like micro SD cards, which actually this is an SD, but it's an adapter, and inside I have a micro SD. This micro SD is 8 gigabytes. That's actually quite a bit of storage. You can have an 8 gigabyte chip like this. You can have a 16, 32 gigabyte, and soon to be 64 gigabyte chip, I'm pretty sure. So compare the two, 8 gigabytes small here, or thumb drive here, 32 gigabytes. It really depends on your personal preference. But like I said, they have many different uses, many different flavors. Some have their benefits, and I'm going to talk about how these flash drives are going to be important to how you save your data, how you, whether it be schoolwork, whether it be business documents, whether it be, personal photos, naked videos, whatever you want to do. I'm not going to judge anybody. I'm just saying these are some tips that may help you out. Um, back in the day, let's talk about a little bit back in the day. Well, back in the day, they had thumb drives that were like a gigabyte, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. They had floppy drives. Floppy drives are basically obsolete now. Like, you can't even put a single image of a low resolution on a single floppy drive, and now we have these 32 gigabyte thumb drives, which is quite amazing. So I guess the most important concept to wrap your mind around is this is just one thing. This thumb drive is just one little thumb drive. You know, very simple interface. Actually, I'll show you a little close up right there. It's just a very simple thumb drive. And if you put all of your data in this 32 gigabytes, and you basically just say, you know what, I'm not going to lose this thumb drive. It's just going to be here, and it's going to be right here in my breast pocket, which, you know, you might lose it from time to time. Oh, look, I've got some USB tech swag here. USB car charger for any of those in our AAU community and the AMA community who do good things and support others. We're going to give you things like this because you never know when you're going to need an extra USB car adapter. Okay, so back to thumb drives. So if you just have all of your data in one spot, you know, you may lose this. Somebody may steal it. Somebody may hide it from you, and therefore you lost it, and technically they stole it. If you have something like a micro SD card, you could lose this. You could eat this thing and poop it out, and your data might still be okay, but you don't want to risk losing it. So we're going to be talking about how cloud computing, cloud storage, and thumb drives will actually help you to save your data. So we're at about 7 minutes here. We're going to make this probably about a 12-minute video. Let's see if I can do it. So I'm going to start up my screen. No, I'm not going to start up yet. I'm not going to start that yet. So cloud storage. What is cloud storage? And what is cloud computing? Cloud basically means internet, and internet-based or web-based. Nowadays we call this Web 2.0. And I don't want to go over your head, but that's just what it is. If you think of Facebook, Facebook is a Web 2.0 app. If you look at Gmail, Gmail is technically cloud storage because your email is in the clouds. If you look at things like Microsoft SkyDrive, Google Drive, Box.com, Dropbox.com, Evernote.com, all these places are cloud storage, which means your data goes from, you know, a physical computer, laptop or something, and literally goes to the cloud. Or it means that your data will start in the cloud, stay in the cloud, and if you need to, download it to your tablet or download it to a thumb drive or a micro SD card. You can do that, and that's the benefit of cloud. The disadvantage of cloud is that if everything you have is in the cloud, and you have some place where you don't have good phone reception, or you're in a place where you don't have good internet connection, or if you just are in the middle of kind of nowhere, like in an island or a very small city where there's not much internet access, cloud is not going to be very beneficial in the regard that you're not going to be able to access it all the time, and therefore defeats the purpose of cloud. So how do you actually combine the two? How do you combine thumb drive with cloud? And one of the ways that I do this is I take this thumb drive and I do what they call partitioning, which means I'm going to take this one thumb drive, and you'll see down here at the bottom of the screen, I'm going to annotate with colors and stuff like that what I'm talking about here. But I'm going to take this one thumb drive and probably divide it into maybe two parts. You know, one part over here may be for storing files, videos, school assignments, while the other part over here may be for actually booting a full operating system like Linux. And if you want to know how to take a thumb drive like this and actually take it with you boot your own Windows, boot your own Linux, boot your own Mac OS. I'm going to show you how to do that, and we're going to start with Linux because I love Linux. And I haven't actually done a video on Linux, but that's definitely in the works. So I'm going to show you how to get the most out of these thumb drives, because what I do with my system is I will partition a thumb drive, I will install, Evernote, Google Drive, and Dropbox, and VLC video player, and my TrueCrypt. And TrueCrypt is a software to help you protect your data with software encryption and all this crazy encryption stuff. I'm going to go over that in a different video. I might just brush over it, basically. But yeah, like, I put all those things on this one side of the thumb drive, and the other side is mostly files and storage. So I've got applications and I've got files, which means when I take this thumb drive with me, not only do I have everything that was in the cloud on this thumb drive, not only do I have my Linux, my own desktop, my own, my documents and everything that Linux has or that your Mac OS would have as a full operating system. And the thumb drive is just a place to store. Think of it like this. This thumb drive replaces hard drives. Give me 2 seconds, literally. Okay, that was a little more than a few seconds. But, so, this thumb drive literally replaces this bulky, old hard drive. It does, and this is basically out the window now. So the way to actually get the most out of this thumb drive, the most out of this cloud storage, this cloud computing, is to actually, format the thumb drive, partition it. You don't even have to partition, but I do it to make the most use out of this thumb drive. So like I said, we've got half of it for storage and maybe half of it for installing programs. Like, you could take AutoCAD, you can take Photoshop CS6, you can take Illustrator, all these programs that you guys love to use with your student accounts and your serials. You can install all that stuff on this one side of the thumb drive, and you can store all of those files on the other side of the thumb drive. And because your thumb drive is connected to the cloud, then everything that you store on this side is going to be in the cloud, and you can download it from the cloud to thumb drive, cloud to thumb drive to cloud. It's a continuous 365 cycle. Now that's just how to utilize the thumb drive with cloud, but what happens if for some reason the internet goes out? Like, let's say websites get hacked. It happens. What if you screw up the files that was on the cloud, and now it's synchronized with your thumb drive, so now the file that was in the cloud and on your thumb drive is now corrupt. Or maybe the file that you put on your thumb drive is corrupt and it goes to the cloud. Now you've okay, well, I've got 2 backups. I got one on my thumb drive, one in the cloud. But in reality, the one in the cloud is also corrupt because it came from the same one source. So here's what you do. Yeah, I know. I need a drink. And this is a good one. So basically, and we're going to end this video pretty soon. I think I've covered a lot, and hopefully you didn't get lost. I'm going to record another video, like I said, showing you, the websites and how to actually set some of these things up. This is just going to be a video to kind of kickstart things. But basically, what you're going to want to do is you are going to have, now let's just kind of clear the screen down below and have all the different sources of backups. This is how you're going to have 4 different backups or more. So you've got your regular computer. You've got things that you store on your computer. Now personally, I do not store files of importance in my documents. I don't store it in the C drive, I don't store it on the computer, I save it in some external location. So let's say you've got your computer, okay, and on this computer you've got a USB hard drive, kind of like I showed you, but an external hard drive. You're going to put an external hard drive. You're going to store a backup of all of this thumb drive stuff on that place. Now you're going to have a second piece of storage, which you can use Dropbox. So Dropbox is going to be your second storage. You can have your Google Drive as a third storage. Google Drive offers between 2 and 1 terabyte of cloud storage from anywhere from $2.50 per month for about 25 gigs. So for the same capacity, this 32 gigs, you can basically get that on Google Drive in the cloud for about $2.50, where something like Dropbox.com will cost you about $10 a month for about 25 gigs or something like that. But anyway, I'm trying to get to the point here. Basically, you can store files on your thumb drive, you can store files on Google Drive, you can store files on Evernote and Dropbox, but what you need to do is create automatic backups. And these automatic backups are going to basically do it automatically and just take files from one source and distribute it to other sources. So, for example, I've already told you that we're going to put Dropbox, Evernote, and Google Drive all on this thumb drive. It's going to go into my computer. So, we're going to plug it into our laptop here. Okay, you see it's activating. So I've got, Dropbox, Evernote, Google Drive right here, and everything is installed to that directory. I'm going to set all these, once you download Dropbox, it's going to say, where do you want to save the files? Oh, you know what? I want to save the files on this thumb drive location. It's like, okay, Evernote, where do you want to install Evernote to? I want to install Evernote to the program directory of this thumb drive. And I want to install, Dropbox on the directory of, this thumb drive. So by doing that, we have that one location. But now what you need to do is you need to take a program like, if you're on a Mac, you can use Time Machine. Time Machine will create backups of one directory to another directory. If you are on Windows, you can use something like Acronis Backup. And so with any of these backup programs, I'll link to these in the video, you can actually have it say, look, I want to take this thumb drive, and every single 30 minutes, I want to take all the files from Dropbox, Evernote, and Google Drive and save it to a USB external hard drive, which means it's not going to be on this laptop. It's not going to be on this thumb drive. So you've got one place here. Then you've got this second place, which is on your USB hard drive. The third place, fourth, and fifth places are going to be, guess what? Dropbox in the cloud, Evernote in the cloud, or sorry, that was 2, and third, Google Drive in the cloud. So if, for example, you lose your thumb drive, okay, what am I going to do? I'm going to go to the internet, and I'm going to log on to Dropbox, Evernote, Google Drive, and I'm going to be able to retrieve those files. But what I also do as another bit of redundancy is I'll take my own website called a web server or FTP server, and I'm going to take that same automatic backup system and say, okay, every 30 minutes I want you to save to Dropbox. I want you to save to, I say, you take the thumb drive and you say every 30 minutes you want to take all those contents and save it to, that USB drive. But you also would say, I want to also save it to an FTP web server, which is in the clouds, but it's completely different from all those other services we talked about. And that's going to give you like 4, 5, 6, 7 different places where your data is going to be. And the reason why this is important is because when, if you need, okay, for example, if you are a photographer and you do wedding photography, like I do wedding photography as a freelancer as well. So I'll take a client, I'll have in any of my places of stores, doesn't matter where it is, I'm going to have the client's name, the year, possibly the day, or the name of the project, and then the name of the day or project again. So it's going to be like client, the year, and either the day or the name of the project. And so within that folder, I might have a bunch of photos for like a baby shower or a a birthday party. So my automatic backup time system extravaganza is going to take all those files, and every 30 minutes it's going to check to see if there's any change in files. Maybe I have a folder that's editing, I'm editing some of these files as a final for the client. So I'm going to take and ask, is there any difference in the files that I'm editing right now? If there is a difference, it's going to take that little tiny piece and it's going to update your FTP. It's going to update your, Dropbox or all the places where your automatic backups go. And so if for some reason my hard drive fails, for some reason that thumb drive is lost, or water damage, whatever, I can go into the cloud and pull out this client's name, this year and this project. And if something goes wrong, I would only lose 30 minutes of work, which to some, depending on how fast you are in Photoshop, 30 minutes of work could be a lot of work. Maybe 30 minutes of work is not really that much. And if you could set it to back up once an hour, once a day, every 30 minutes, every 5 minutes. Sometimes I get really anal and I say, you know what, I want to back up every 15 minutes to these different locations. And that's how I keep my butt protected. Because when you have a client and they're spending, $300, $500, $1,000 on wedding photography or wedding video, you cannot afford to have a thumb drive fail, a hard drive fail. You cannot afford to have all of your information on one external hard drive, or if this goes into your laptop, one internal drive. You can't afford that. So, with that being said, this was a very long video. Like I said, I wanted to keep it short, but I think it was probably a really good in-depth video for those who actually want to watch it. I'm going to make a shorter video. I'm going to actually show you how to set these things up, and also how to partition the thumb drives, how to do things like boot Linux. So maybe you go to your friend's house and you boot up your own version of Linux, which has Google Chrome, it's got your Evernote, it's got Dropbox, all installed within that Linux environment. You can just say, hey dude, can I borrow your laptop? Or hey girl, can I borrow your laptop? I want to, check on something or work on something real quick. And you just put your thumb drive in, you restart their computer, you hit the little special key, sometimes it's like delete or F12 to boot from the USB. The USB is going to detect an operating system. You're going to boot in, log in, and there is your whole system, like as if you were at home, but on a different system. And the only difference is going to be the performance. My computers are built specifically for performance, high performance at that, in multitasking. Your friend's computer might not be high performance in multitasking, but you can still use it, and for the most part, it's going to work just fine. And I hope that has helped you guys. Like I said, I know this was a long video, but I thank you guys for watching and for your support. And I'm going to talk to you guys later.